There are moments in your life when you feel completely unseen. You try, you struggle, you hold on, but no one notices. No applause, no recognition, no reward. And deep inside, a question begins to whisper. Does anyone even see what I'm going through? Listen carefully. Allah saw it all. Every silent tear, every hidden sacrifice, every time you chose patience over anger. And what you thought was unnoticed was actually being honored in ways beyond your imagination. 1. Your silent struggles are never wasted. There are battles in your life that no one has ever seen, not because they weren't real, but because you chose to carry them quietly. You smiled when your heart was heavy. You stayed silent when you could have reacted. You held yourself together when everything inside you was breaking. And the hardest part? No one clapped for you. No one said, "I see how strong you're being." No one recognized the war you were fighting within yourself. So slowly, a thought began to grow. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe no one sees. Maybe it's all just meaningless. But listen carefully. Just because people didn't see it doesn't mean it wasn't seen. Every moment you chose patience over anger, Allah saw it. Every time you held back words that could have hurt someone, Allah saw it. Every tear you wiped away so no one would ask questions, Allah saw it. And not only did He see it, He valued it. In this world, people celebrate what is loud. They praise what is visible. They admire what can be shown. But Allah honors what is hidden. The struggle that no one knows about is often the one that carries the greatest reward, because it is pure. You weren't doing it for attention. You weren't doing it for validation. You were doing it because somewhere deep inside, you still chose what was right, even when it was hard, even when it hurt, even when no one noticed. That is not weakness. That is strength of the highest level. The quiet moments of patience are the moments that change your destiny. Not the big dramatic actions, not the things people talk about, but the silent decisions you make when no one is watching. The moment you controlled your anger, the moment you chose to forgive, the moment you walked away instead of reacting, the moment you kept going when everything in you wanted to quit. Those moments are not small. They are powerful. They are being recorded, and they are shaping a future for you that you cannot yet see. You may feel like you are just getting through the day, but in reality, you are building something far greater. Allah is watching how you respond when life tests you quietly, because that is where true character is revealed. Anyone can be strong when things are easy. Anyone can be patient when everything is going their way. But you stayed patient when it was difficult. You stayed calm when it was painful. You stayed faithful when it was confusing. And that is exactly why it matters. So don't ever think your silent struggles are being ignored. They are not disappearing into nothing. They are being transformed into reward, into elevation, into something that will one day make you realize nothing you went through was wasted. Not a single moment, not a single tear, not a single silent battle. It all mattered, and it still does. 2. Allah tests those He wants to elevate. There are moments when life feels unusually heavy, not just difficult, but deeply exhausting. You try to move forward, but everything seems to push back. You make effort, but the results don't come. You pray, but the answer feels delayed. And in those moments, a dangerous thought begins to form. Why is this happening to me? Did I do something wrong? Is Allah unhappy with me? But what if the reality is completely different? What if the weight you are carrying is not a sign of rejection, but a sign of elevation? Allah does not test randomly. He tests with precision, with wisdom, with purpose, and most importantly, He tests those He intends to raise. Think about it. Gold is not purified in comfort. It is placed into fire, not to destroy it, but to remove what is weak, so what remains is pure, strong, and valuable. In the same way, you are being refined. Every difficulty you are facing right now is shaping your patience. Every delay you are experiencing is strengthening your trust. Every hardship you are enduring is building a version of you that is ready for something greater. Because the truth is, the level you are asking Allah for requires a stronger version of you, and strength is not built in ease. It is built in struggle. It is built in moments when you feel like giving up, but you choose to continue. It is built in moments when nothing makes sense, but you still choose to trust. And that is what makes your test meaningful. You are not being tested because you are weak. You are being tested because you are capable of becoming stronger. Allah sees something in you that you may not even see in yourself yet. A strength, a resilience, a level of faith that is being developed right now. And one day, you will look back at this phase of your life and realize something powerful. The struggle was not there to break you. It was there to build you, to prepare you, to elevate you, to take you to a place you could never reach without it. So when life feels heavy, don't immediately assume something is wrong. Sometimes, everything is going exactly right, because Allah is not punishing you. He is preparing you. And what He is preparing you for is far greater than what you are going through right now. 3. Delays are not denials. There are prayers you made with full sincerity. Moments when your heart was completely open, your hands raised, your voice trembling, asking Allah for something you truly needed, and you believed it would come. But days passed, then weeks, then months, and nothing changed. The situation remained the same. The door stayed closed. The answer never seemed to arrive. And slowly, quietly, doubt begins to whisper. Why hasn't it happened yet? Did Allah not hear me? Am I being ignored? But understand this clearly. A delay is not a denial. Just because something hasn't happened yet does not mean it will never happen. Allah hears every single dua. Not one word is lost. Not one tear is ignored. Not one request goes unnoticed. But the response of Allah is not limited to your timing, because you see only the moment. Allah sees the entire picture. You see what you want right now. Allah sees what will truly benefit you in the long run. And sometimes, what you are asking for is not being delayed to hurt you, but to protect you. Because if it came too early, it could overwhelm you. If it came in the way you wanted, it might not be what you actually needed. So Allah delays, not out of absence, but out of wisdom, not because He is ignoring you, but because He is preparing something better. There are times when Allah answers your dua immediately. There are times when He delays it for the perfect moment. And there are times when He replaces it with something greater. But in every case, you are not being abandoned. You are being guided. The difficulty is that we measure Allah's response based on speed. If it comes quickly, we feel heard. If it takes time, we feel ignored. But Allah does not work on urgency. He works on perfection. And perfection requires timing that you may not understand right now. Think about this. How many times in your life did something not happen, and later you realized it was actually a blessing? How many times did a closed door save you from something worse? At that moment, it felt like rejection, but later, it made complete sense. This is exactly how Allah's delay works. Right now, it may feel confusing. It may feel painful. It may feel like nothing is happening. But something is happening. Behind the scenes, everything is being arranged. The right moment is being prepared. The right outcome is being written. The right version of you is being built. So don't lose hope because of delay. Don't weaken your faith because of silence. Because Allah is never late. He is always on time. And when the answer finally comes, you will understand why it had to take this long. And you will realize that the delay was never a denial. It was part of something far greater. 4. Allah sees what people ignore. There is a kind of loneliness that doesn't come from being alone, but from being unseen. You can be surrounded by people, talking, smiling, functioning normally, yet inside, you feel like no one truly understands you. Because people only see what you show them. They see your calm face, but not the storm inside your chest. They hear your words, but not the weight behind your silence. They notice your results, but not the effort it took to get there. And over time, it starts to hurt. You begin to feel overlooked, unappreciated, invisible. You start wondering, does anyone really see me? Does anyone understand what I'm carrying? But listen carefully. Even if people don't see you, Allah does. He sees what you hide from the world. He sees what you can't even explain to others. He sees the nights you stayed awake, thinking. He sees the moments you broke down quietly. He sees the effort you put in when you had no energy left. And most importantly, He sees your intentions. Because sometimes, your actions may look small on the outside, but the intention behind them is azim. You may give a little, but it came from a heart that had very little left. You may stay quiet, but it took immense strength to hold back. You may keep going, but it required everything inside you. People don't see that, but Allah sees it in full detail. Not just what you did, but why you did it. Not just your actions, but your sincerity. And this is where the real value lies. Because in the eyes of people, what matters is appearance. But in the sight of Allah, what matters is intention. You could do something small with sincerity, and it becomes azim in the sight of Allah. And you could do something big without sincerity, and it holds no value. So when people overlook you, don't let it break you. Because their vision is limited, they can only see what is visible. But Allah sees beyond that. He sees the hidden layers of your life, the sacrifices no one knows about, the discipline no one notices, the pain you carry with dignity, and nothing from that is lost. Every unnoticed effort is being recorded. Every hidden struggle is being valued. Every sincere intention is being rewarded. So don't chase recognition from people. Don't exhaust yourself trying to be seen, because the one who truly matters already sees everything. And when Allah recognizes you, it is far greater than the recognition of the entire world. Because people may forget you, people may misunderstand you, people may overlook you, but Allah never does, not even for a second. 5. Your patience is being honored right now. There is a kind of patience that people talk about, and then there is a kind of patience that people live through. The first is easy to speak about. The second is what you are carrying right now. It is the patience of waking up with a heavy heart and still continuing. It is the patience of being misunderstood and choosing silence. It is the patience of waiting for change while everything feels stuck. And the most difficult part of this patience is not the pain itself. It is the feeling that maybe it doesn't matter, that maybe all this holding back, all this tamil, is going unnoticed. You don't react when you could. You don't complain when you want to. You don't give up, even when you feel like it. And yet, nothing seems to shift. So your heart begins to ask, what is the point of being patient if nothing changes? Why am I holding on when it feels like I'm standing still? But what you don't see is that your patience is not being ignored. It is being honored right now, not later, not someday. Right now, in a way you cannot yet see. Because patience, in the sight of Allah, is not passive. It is powerful. It is an active choice you make every single day to remain steady when everything inside you is shaking. And that choice is azim. When you hold back your anger, when you choose dignity over reaction, when you trust even in confusion, you are doing something that is incredibly rare. Most people break. Most people react. Most people lose control. But you stayed composed, even when it hurt, even when no one would have blamed you for reacting, even when you had every reason to give up. And that is exactly why your patience carries weight. Because it was not easy. It was not comfortable. It was not convenient. It was chosen. And Allah honors what is chosen for His sake. There is something powerful happening behind the scenes. With every moment of patience, your rank is being raised. With every silent tamil, your reward is increasing. With every time you choose Sabr over frustration, you are being brought closer to something greater. You may not see it immediately. You may not feel the shift right away. But that does not mean nothing is happening. Because some of the greatest transformations happen quietly. Just like seeds grow beneath the soil before anything appears above it, your patience is creating something beneath the surface. Something real. Something lasting. Something that will one day become visible. And when that moment comes, You will understand why you had to wait. You will understand why things didn't change instantly. You will understand why your patience was necessary. Because what Allah is preparing for you requires a level of strength that only patience can build. So don't underestimate what you're doing right now. Don't think your patience is small. Don't think your Tamil is going unnoticed. Because at this very moment, Allah is proud of you for holding on, for staying steady, for not giving up, even when it felt like no one was watching. And one day, you will see the result of this patience in a way that will leave you in awe. Not just a small reward, not just a temporary relief, but something that makes you realize every second of patience was worth it. So keep going, even if it feels slow, even if it feels heavy, even if it feels unseen, because your patience is not just taking you through this moment. It is taking you somewhere far greater than you can imagine. 6. What you lost was never meant to stay. There are moments in life that leave a mark so deep, you feel like a part of you was taken away. A person walked out. An opportunity slipped through your hands. Something you prayed for, something you held on to, something you believed was yours, disappeared. And the pain of that loss is not just about what's gone. It's about the questions that follow. Why did this happen? Why did I lose something that meant so much to me? Why would Allah take this away after giving it to me? These questions don't just sit in your mind. They echo in your heart. Because loss, especially unexpected loss, feels like rejection. It feels like something was taken from you unfairly. It feels like you were left behind while others moved forward. And slowly, if you're not careful, it begins to shake your trust. But listen carefully. Not everything that enters your life is meant to stay. And not everything you lose is a loss. Sometimes what you are experiencing as loss is actually protection. Because Allah sees what you cannot. You see the surface. You see what it looked like, how it felt, what it meant to you. But Allah sees the unseen. He sees where it was leading. He sees what it could have become. He sees the harm that may have been hidden within it. And out of His mercy, He removes it. Not to hurt you, but to save you. The difficulty is that when something leaves your life, you only feel the absence. You feel the silence where there used to be connection. You feel the emptiness where there used to be hope. You feel the gap where something meaningful once existed. And your heart tries to fill that gap with questions. But what if that gap is not meant to be filled immediately? What if that space was created on purpose? To make room for something better. To make room for something purer. To make room for something that aligns with what Allah has truly written for you. You see, sometimes we become attached to things, not because they are good for us, but because they feel familiar. We hold on because we invested time. We hold on because we built expectations. We hold on because we imagined a future around them. And letting go feels like losing all of that. But Allah does not take something away without a reason. And He does not remove something from your life unless there is wisdom behind it. Even if you cannot understand it right now, there are things you begged Allah for that later you thanked Him for not giving. There are doors you wanted opened that would have led you somewhere painful. There are people you thought you needed who would have eventually broken you. But at the moment of loss, you couldn't see any of that. All you could feel was the pain. And that pain is real. It's okay to feel it. It's okay to grieve. It's okay to take time to process what happened. Because losing something important is not easy. But what you must not do is lose your trust in Allah. Because even in your loss, Allah is still taking care of you. He is still guiding you. He is still protecting you, even if it doesn't feel like it. You may look at your life right now and think, I had something good, and now it's gone. But what if that was not the full picture? What if what you had was only good for a certain time, and beyond that, it would have become harmful? What if Allah removed it before it could damage you in ways you're not aware of? Because Allah's knowledge is not limited to the present. He sees the future. He knows where every path leads. And sometimes He closes a door, not because you failed, but because that door was not meant for you. It doesn't matter how badly you wanted it. It doesn't matter how perfect it seemed. If it was truly meant for you, it would have stayed. Because what is written for you cannot be taken away from you. And what is not written for you, no matter how much you hold on to it, will eventually leave. That is not cruelty. That is divine precision. And understanding this changes everything. Because instead of seeing loss as rejection, you begin to see it as redirection. Instead of asking, "Why was this taken from me?" you begin to ask, "What is Allah protecting me from?" Instead of holding on to what left, you begin to trust what is coming. And that shift is powerful because it frees your heart from attachment to what is gone and reconnects it to the one who is in control. Allah does not leave you empty. If He removes something, it is only to replace it with something better. But that better does not always come immediately. There may be a gap, a period of silence, a phase where you feel like you have nothing. And that phase is not punishment. It is preparation. It is a space where your heart is being reset, where your dependence is shifting, where you are being gently brought back to trust Allah more than anything else. And once that shift happens, what comes next will be different. It will not just be something you want. It will be something that is right for you. Something that brings peace, not confusion. Something that strengthens you, not drains you. Something that aligns with your purpose, not distracts from it. So don't rush to replace what you lost. Don't chase what left. Because if it was meant to stay, it would have stayed. And if it left, it carried a wisdom with it. A wisdom you may not fully understand today. But one day, you will. One day, you will look back at this moment, and instead of feeling pain, you will feel gratitude. Gratitude that Allah removed what was not right for you. Gratitude that He didn't allow you to continue down a path that would have hurt you more. Gratitude that what felt like loss was actually protection. So trust this process, even if it hurts, even if it feels confusing, even if you don't have all the answers, because Allah is not taking things away from you to leave you with nothing. He is taking things away to give you something better, something pure, something more aligned with what you truly need. And when it comes, you will understand. You will understand why certain people had to leave, why certain doors had to close, why certain plans had to fall apart. And you will realize that nothing you lost was ever truly meant to stay, and nothing meant for you will ever miss you. 7. Allah is preparing something beyond your imagination. There is a phase in life that almost everyone goes through, a phase where nothing seems to be happening. No clear progress, no visible change, no sign that things are getting better. You wake up, you try, you move through your day, but deep inside it feels like you are stuck, like you're standing in the same place while time keeps moving. And this is the moment where most people begin to lose hope, because we are used to seeing results. We are used to measuring progress through what is visible. But what happens when nothing is visible? What happens when you are trying, but there is no sign that your efforts are leading anywhere? That is where faith is tested at its deepest level. Because just because you don't see movement doesn't mean nothing is moving. In fact, some of the most powerful changes in your life happen in complete silence, behind the scenes, beyond your understanding. Allah is always working, even when everything looks still, even when your situation hasn't changed, even when your prayers seem unanswered. There is a reality you cannot see, a reality where things are being arranged for you in ways you could never imagine. Paths are being aligned, people are being moved, opportunities are being prepared, timings are being perfected, all for you. But because it is happening beyond your vision, it feels like nothing is happening at all. And that is the challenge: to trust what you cannot see, to believe in what you cannot feel yet, to remain patient when there is no evidence in front of you. Because Allah does not work according to what you see. He works according to what is best. And what is best often takes time. You may look at your life right now and think, "I'm not where I want to be. Nothing is changing. I'm still stuck in the same place." But what if you're not stuck? What if you're being positioned? What if this phase of stillness is actually a phase of preparation? Because before something great enters your life, There is always a period of unseen work, a period where things are being built quietly, where your character is being shaped, where your patience is being strengthened, where your mindset is being refined. Because what Allah is preparing for you requires a different version of you, a stronger version, a wiser version, a more patient version. And that version cannot be built overnight. It is built through waiting, through uncertainty, through moments where you feel like nothing is happening, but you choose to keep going anyway. This is where most people give up. They quit too early. They lose hope just before things begin to shift, because they rely only on what they can see. But you are being called to something deeper, to trust beyond sight, to believe beyond evidence, to understand that Allah's plan is not limited to your current situation. You may not see it now, but something is coming, something that will make you realize why things had to unfold the way they did, something that will connect all the dots of your past, the struggles you went through, the delays you experienced, the losses you endured. All of it was leading you to that moment. But until that moment arrives, you are asked to trust. And trust is not easy. Trust means continuing when you feel tired. Trust means believing when you feel uncertain. Trust means holding on when everything in you wants to let go. But that is exactly what makes it powerful. Because when you trust Allah in uncertainty, you are building a connection that cannot be shaken. A connection that is not dependent on outcomes. A connection that is rooted in belief. And that kind of faith changes everything, because it shifts your focus from what is not happening to what Allah is preparing, from what you don't have to what is on its way, from frustration to anticipation. And that shift transforms your entire perspective. You stop seeing your life as stagnant and start seeing it as a process that is unfolding exactly as it should, even if it doesn't feel like it, even if it doesn't look like it, because Allah's plan is not random. It is precise. Every delay has a reason. Every test has a purpose. Every phase has meaning. And when the time is right, everything will come together. Not partially, not imperfectly, but in a way that is complete, in a way that makes sense, in a way that feels right. You will look back and realize why certain things didn't work out, why certain doors remained closed, why certain people left your life. And instead of feeling confusion, you will feel clarity, because you will see what you couldn't see before. That Allah was not holding you back. He was guiding you forward, just in a way you didn't understand at the time. And when what is written for you finally arrives, it will not feel forced. It will not feel uncertain. It will feel right, peaceful, aligned, as if everything that happened before was simply preparing you for this. And in that moment, you will understand something that is hard to see right now, that Allah was never ignoring you. He was never delaying without reason. He was never leaving you behind. He was preparing something for you that is beyond your imagination, something that you could not have planned, something you could not have forced, something that only He could arrange. So don't lose hope in this phase. Don't let the silence make you doubt. Don't let the waiting make you weak. Because just because you cannot see what is coming doesn't mean it is not coming. It is. And when it does, it will make every moment of confusion, every second of waiting, every ounce of patience worth it. So hold on, not because you see the outcome, but because you trust the one who controls it. Because Allah is preparing something for you, something bigger than your current situation, something better than what you asked for, something beyond what you can imagine. And when it reaches you, you will finally understand why everything had to happen the way it did. So if you've been feeling unseen, if you've been carrying pain that no one understands, if you've been waiting, struggling, and questioning everything, remember this: nothing you went through was ignored. Nothing you felt was wasted. Nothing you lost was meaningless. Allah saw it all. Every silent battle, every moment of patience, every time you chose to hold on when it would have been easier to let go. And what you thought was just survival was actually preparation. Preparation for something greater, something better, something beyond what you can imagine right now. So don't lose hope. Even if it's slow, keep going. Even if it's hard, stay patient. Even if it's silent, keep trusting. Because one day, everything will make sense. And you will look back at this phase of your life, not with pain, but with gratitude. Gratitude that Allah never left you. Gratitude that He guided you through it all. Gratitude that what felt like struggle was actually a path to something beautiful. So hold on, because what's coming is worth everything you've been through.